I'm here with Lauren Campbell from Firefly, Chief Marketing Officer, here in Austin for the running event. Why is Firefly here? Tell us about the journey to Austin.
The journey to Austin. So Firefly is an innovative technology that helps athletes recover faster, and runners have been one of the early adopters for this technology. And we're here to connect with more people, help expand word of mouth, and find new athletes to adopt Firefly.
I'm a runner. I told you off camera I have an injury. I got really excited. I perked up. So I'm curious. Tell me more about the product. Like when you say recover faster.
Yes.
I'm dealing with an injury. How is this thing going to help me?
So we're definitely our primary focus is on keeping you healthy and recovered, and the way we do that is by increasing blood flow. So it's hard to believe, but this little device really functions similarly to sequential compression or big compression boots. The purpose there is moving blood in your body, getting fresh blood and oxygen to move through your body, helps your body heal and recover faster. And so the way we do that is there are small electrodes here. We're stimulating the peroneal nerve, which makes, a lot of people look at this and say, oh, is that a TENS unit? The way we're different is we're very focused on increasing blood flow, and we're doing that by stimulating the peroneal nerve.
When I was an athlete in college, I remember sitting on the table. I would hooked up to the stim machine. You
Yes.
get the little electrode current through you. Is that similar to what this does, or I'm trying to think of layman's terms and as just
exactly.
a
The
dumb
easiest
runner.
way I can explain it is we look like electrostim and we function like compression. So we are using an electrical stim current, but in that example you gave, you were really directly targeting a muscle group, and what we're doing is giving you a systemic increase in circulation to help a wide range, your whole body, recover faster by getting fresh blood and oxygen.
Disclaimer, I got to try this a little bit before we did this, so I was excited. And what I learned, and correct me if I'm wrong, the placement of this is the same, regardless of what I'm experiencing, to get that blood flow where we put it on the leg, regardless of anything I'm dealing with, that's where that will be located and help stimulate that flow.
So that nerve that we're referencing, the peroneal nerve, really does run from your hip all the way to your toe. And what we're doing is we're activating your foot to function almost like a pump. So once per second, this little electric charge will happen and will make your foot, like what we did before, make this movement. And that movement is going to push blood from your feet all the way back up to your heart. So you truly, whether it's something that you're, in your feet, in your calf, in your Achilles, knee, hip, quad, wherever, I think that's one thing that people will see this sometimes, and it sits right below your knee, and they'll say, oh, I don't need something for my knee, I need something for, this other body part. And this really will help that part by having the blood get pushed from your feet all the way back up.
I'm curious about the development of this because it's, again, as someone that's dealt with injury, typically you're going to a training room, you're going to a specialist, you're going to a physical location, sitting there for, 30 minutes to an hour and getting the treatment. This is something that's portable on the go.
Recover anywhere.
I'm like, whoa, mind blown, right?
Mind blown.
So I'm curious about the development of this. How long has the product been around? How did it get to where it is today?
Absolutely. So the product was developed in the UK by a medical technology company that really was trying to address a different problem, which is post-surgery blood clots. And so increasing blood flow helps to avoid blood clots. And so if you've ever had surgery, they put on those little squeezers, leg squeezers, and those also do the same function, but those have to be unplugged when you're taken for tests or if you're using the restroom or different things. So then there's a lack of adoption sometimes when they don't get put back on. So they thought, well, if we could create a portable device that could stay with the patient, that would, resolve this issue. So that's the background. This is made by a medical technology company. We have clinical backing and studies that show exactly how this works, and they're posted on our website. And so from there, they wanted to see, would this have the same impact by increasing blood flow on athletes? And they tested it with rugby players in the UK, and they were able to really measure things like creatine kinase levels and other markers in the blood that show your recovery, and be able to assess that a high-level athlete often takes 72 hours to fully recover, but yet they never take 72 hours to recover, right? So you have this
Back at it.
this problem, and that's why they're not necessarily always feeling their freshest, especially at crunch time when you're like in tournaments or at the end of the season, right? You're sort of like dragging your way there. And so by allowing them to recover anywhere, to your point, whether that's outside the training room with student athletes, they could do it in class or on the bus. With professional athletes, they're doing it on the plane or, you know, wherever they want. It enables a higher adoption level because of the ease of being able to have that portability and flexibility with the product.
That's wild. Well, yeah. What kind of use have you seen? Like, what's the most portable and wild use you've seen of people on the go with this thing?
In terms of like what they do with it?
Yeah, like are people like going through their workday, or most people sitting and relaxing?
We have been so fortunate. We have an amazing community that do send us videos and, I mean, great examples of how they use it. So regular use would be, like I mentioned, wearing it to class, walking the dog, cooking dinner, those types of sort of more typical. But yes, we've had, you know, very professional people pull up the suit leg and show us that. We get a lot of questions like, can I wear this during, you know, while I swim or work out? And that's one thing that we don't recommend. Mm-hmm. This is really pre and post, and then the next part is travel has become a very huge part of use for athletes and everyday individuals.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the compression, you know, thinking about traveling, people wear the compression socks. Like, this is something potentially on an airplane, put these on, helps that circulation.
Absolutely. I mean, that's something that we work with pro athletes, runners, you know, Galen Rupp, who's an Olympic marathoner. We were fortunate to meet with him, and he mentioned that oftentimes he would get off the plane, his legs would feel heavy. When you're seated, you're not getting circulation. And then when you also change altitudes, that puts additional strain on the body. And so being able to keep your blood flowing while you're seated is a huge benefit, and you can actually get off the plane, feel fresh. And so going back to Galen, he actually would say that when he would use this on a flight, he could get off the flight and go for a run versus needing 2 days to get back his legs without it.
Yeah, that's wild.
And one other thing I will mention about the product is that it basically simulates about 2/3 of the benefit of walking. So if you are seated at a desk or on a plane, you're getting kind of 2/3 of the benefit that you would get of blood flow and circulation as if you were walking, and that's why you don't get that dead leg feeling.
Interesting. That's not saying we should stop walking, though, right? Like,
that's up to you.
There's a lot of television to be consumed during the winter months.
Right, exactly.
So, what's it been like in terms of the adoption of the product? Who are the customers of Firefly today? Okay,
so we started out selling really more of a B2B model, selling to teams through the athletic training rooms. We had great adoption from leagues like Major League Baseball, where we sell to about 90% of the teams in football, in soccer. And then we started getting into collegiate sports, and that's where we've seen the type of athlete spread so much more. We're in swimming, wrestling, volleyball, track and field is a huge one, because at some of the smaller schools, they may not have a football team with the big budgets, but almost any school can have a running, you know, track and field program. And they are putting so much stress on their bodies every single day. So being able to have a tool that can go to the entire team versus sort of one at a time has been something that we've seen be really beneficial in helping us scale and spread the word. We then have also seen a lot of interest in high school athletics as well. Elite youth teams that are in places like you know, elite basketball programs, elite tennis programs, soccer. We're now getting a lot of interest from the golfing community. So the nice thing about this is it is something you can keep in your gym bag, in your golf or tennis bag, your sport bag, and be able to take it out as soon as you finish and put it on and forget it's there, essentially. You can walk with it, you can, do whatever you need to do with your day.
I'm regretting not keeping it on while we're doing this interview.
You could have been recovering and interviewing.
So it sounds like started from a team environment, but at a high level,
yes.
right? And so and as you guys have gone now, if I'm not mistaken, kind of going direct to consumer with this, and
Absolutely.
so someone like, me as a runner just here in Austin, I see this, I'm like, man, I wonder if it works. I also know a couple things. One, it's backed with this medical background and science behind it. It's been backed by professional teams in the collegiate at the highest level.
Yeah.
So it's a product that seems pretty tested across a number of...
proven. Yeah, absolutely. So yes, when we started, we were really focused on the team business and selling directly. And we have spent a lot of time in building up word of mouth, and that started creating a lot of interest in the product. And so at this point, our direct-to-consumer side has grown to be almost as big as our team side. So we really are connecting with athletes of all types through that direct-to-consumer side as well, which is really amazing. And we feel extremely fortunate that athletes, I think, love the product so much that they are willing to talk about it on social, and that has helped us just continue to spread the word, because I think the most trusted thing as an athlete is hearing from someone else that does the same thing. Oh, this actually really helped me.
Yeah. When I'm going to get treatment, I'm trying to treat an injury, whatever it might be, like one of the factors that always weighs in is cost, right?
Yes.
And so when I go to an appointment, I know that could be a minimum of $100 every time I go.
Correct.
So I see this, I'm like, man, how much is this going to cost me?
Exactly. So one set of the product that comes in a package like this and has 2 of the devices inside the package retails on our website for $48. You do get 30 hours of use out of this. So on and off, you can break that up into as many sessions as you want. What we see the biggest adoption of is we have a starter pack on our website where we sell 2 packs like this, and additionally, because there's a hydrogel here that conducts the electrodes and also functions as an adhesive, and as you take any adhesive product off, it loses some adhesion over time. So additionally, we have knee straps like this that will hold the device on below the knee and allow you to be fully mobile even when the product isn't as adhesive. So that package for the 2 packs, which gives you 60 hours of recovery, and the knee straps, retails for $99.
Wow. So yeah, at 30 hours, even just with 2, I'm doing the math at 30 hours, wear that an hour to 2 hours a day, you're talking 2 to 4 weeks of use.
Exactly. And that's where we're seeing this as a really affordable, portable, beneficial technology, and I think that's what's enabling us to get so much adoption.
You mentioned Galen Rupp uses the product. Curious from the sport of running, track and field, like what are the kind of injuries you see people trying to treat with the Firefly?
So, again, because of our FDA, we're not really advertising this to directly for injuries because it's also personal. Mm-hmm. But what we're trying to do is help runners stay healthy so they can continue to do what they want. And whether it's at elite high school level, we started to work with a high school program in Los Angeles that happened to have 4 of the top runners in the country over the last few years. And those runners are all now collegiate runners, but they really helped expand that the use of Firefly in the high school market, and additionally the collegiate market. I think runners are using this product because they put so much pounding on their body. It's a very repetitive motion, even though they're doing cross training and other things for strength. They do need something to just help quickly relieve the entire leg, and this does that for them. So we definitely get feedback about all kinds of injuries that are being helped with the product, but really where we're focused on is just helping to keep people healthy, feeling fresh, keeping their legs fresh, and being able to go out and do what they love day after day. And so the feedback from the running community has really been incredible. Whether you're training for a marathon or a 5K, at any level, this is something that can help you kind of continue with your goal by being able to make it easier for the next day to show up. I know, like, as a runner, I'm sure if your legs are sore, you're sort of like debating whether to go out that next day. Do I want to do it? And being able to give runners fresh legs so they can continue, they can train harder. We get so many texts, emails like that they achieved their PR and they are like attributing it to using our product, which just is an incredible testimony.
I mean, you said earlier 72 hours is the normal recovery, and this cuts
Brings
that
it
down
down
to
to a
24.
day.
So I mean, just the ability to get back out
Yeah,
and get the work in. I mean, that's
it's huge. Yeah.
that's amazing. So the Firefly product, how long has it now been out in the market, and who is all involved in this, maybe from the outside?
Yes, so we've been out in the market for about 7 years, starting, as I mentioned, with professional athletes. And as they've adopted the product, they've wanted to take on a bigger role. So last year, we did a first investment round and brought on 7 professional athletes to invest in the business, help us grow, and work as brand ambassadors. And those athletes are 5-time Olympian Carrie Walsh from beach volleyball. From the NFL, we have Darren Waller and Shaq Thompson. Professional baseball player Kyle Farmer. From hockey professional is Sam Gagne. From professional tennis, Shelby Rogers. And professional triathlete is Ben Canute.
So a pretty strong stable of athletes that have backed the product and are wanting to take on, when you say a bigger role, is that just financial, or are they helping in other ways as well?
Our team is amazing. They help in other ways. They make introductions to other athletes. They bring us in. They help create social and just broaden our awareness. They'll do PR, anything like that. Carrie just became involved with the new professional volleyball team league that is launching in 2024. She's a team owner and will be working with her team as well.
Very cool. Well, I feel like I've been sitting for a while today, so I really should go put these things back on.
Absolutely.
But Lauren, it's awesome having you in town.
Thank you.
We're really excited to test this out. I know I am. I know there's some guys behind the camera that are jealous that have already got a taste of it.
Absolutely.
Anything else that we should know about this?
Well, I mean, I will say we are FDA approved for 12 and above. So whether you have a youth athlete, a collegiate athlete, you're someone who is leaving that time behind and starting to feel the aging body, we're really able to help everyone feel better and be able to do what they love.
Awesome.
So,
thank you for being here.
absolutely.
Great having you.
Thanks
Welcome
for
to
having
town.
us. We're excited to be here.